Okay, so in this video, what I'm going to do is show you how I made this. This is a wooden rock and roll bed. It folds up into a seating position very easily, folds out into a bed very easily. The dimensions of this, it's 187 centimeters, I believe, long. It's 120 centimeters wide. It's made entirely out of wood, which makes it very light. Most rock and roll beds probably coming in at about 75 kilograms, the metal framed ones. This one is less than 25 kilograms, which is important if you're putting this into a van. Very easy to use, and if there's any discrepancies in the van, anything else in the van which it needs to go around, that can easily be cut off. Okay, so to make a bed like this, what we first need is a plan, and I have a plan here. So this is the main body of the bed, if you will. We're going to make these boards, or the flat pieces of the bed, first, and here we have all the measurements for that. There's three of those, obviously. There's one for the seat, there's one for the back of the seat, and then there's the one that drops down behind, which will fold out to make the bed. So that's that one. From a side view, we have this sort of thing. This is going to be made from 3x2s, and the main structure of the bed this way is made by a material which I think is 18 by 69. Now, what can I tell you about this? There's a sliding rail here, which we're going to use these fairly heavy draw runners. These are 800mm long, and that should be sufficient to pull this out. When this pulls out, this falls down, goes up like this. This bit comes here. So our very first thing is to make a cutting list, and we have on this plan very rough cutting list for these back slats and for these cross pieces. Now, as I say, we're going to make this out of this 69 by 18, and we're going to put it together with pocket holes. So I've got a pocket hole jig here and all of the various bits and pieces to do that, and I think that'll be the best way to hold all that together. So first things first, I'm going to cut some of this wood up, and then we'll get on to it. That'll clamp up, and then we'll simply drill through these holes. And this is this here, and the holes are here, and that's about right. Okay, so we've got all this laid out. We've got the screws, pocket hole screws, we've got some glue, and we've got a square. And the first thing we're going to do is just put these edges together, put these corners together, and as I say, we'll measure in between for the rest of the slats. So we just want a little trace of glue on each of those to begin with. All good. So I'm going to put this first slat in here, and I'm just going to mark it there. Now, what I know about that is that the line has to go, and when that goes, that'll fit perfectly. These, we want 9 of them for each of these base boards sort of thing. So I'm going to set the saw up with the stop on at that and cut 9 of them. But before cutting them all, it's always a good idea to check with the first one. I'd say that's a pretty good fit. 8 more of those. Okay, so we have 9 of these now cut and drilled. Next thing that we want to do is find the dead center of this, and to do that I will need a pencil. Now, I know that this is 120 long, so we're going to mark that at 60 there. 60 at the top, and we know that that's our centre line. There it is. Now I want one of these, and we'll also want the centre of this. Now it is 69 wide, so So I'm just going to put that close to the 7 mark and mark it at 3.5. Happy enough with that. Same here. So this one's going to sit in there like that. Just get that nice and square on the line. And then I have some glue. I'm going to glue these and screw them, but just to show you how I'm doing this, this block is, I believe, 46 mil, and the idea is just to do this all the way along. And if we do that all the way along, we should have even gaps throughout the thing. This was a bit of a calculation. It's just, you know, what does 9 of these add up to? What's left? Divide that by 9 or 8, is it? I'm not sure. It was a difficult calculation for me, I tell you. But it is done, and that's the idea of it. The block will just sit in there and then sit in there, and these will be put on as we go. Alrighty, so many pocket screws later. We have the board. This is the back board, the back of the seat, almost there. I'm going to radius these corners. I think it'll be much nicer if they're just taken off there. So I'm just going to use this old paint tin, draw a line on there, and then I will bandsaw them off, give the whole thing a sand, and then make the other two. Okay, so that's the first one, looking like this. Again, a little bit more sanding down when that glue's dried off. And the idea now is to make another two the same. There is a slight difference, so I'll get on with the seat base, which is very much the same as that, just a different size. But the one which goes on the back and will fold up towards the back doors has got this detail out of the corner. So I've measured these up. I know what I need to cut for it. So I'm going to cut those, and then I'll just go over how we're putting this together on the corner here. So this is how the back board is going to look. This is just to get round the pillar in the side of the van. And the pillar on these vans, this is going into a long wheelbase Vivaro. And I believe that the pillar itself was 14 wide, so we've got this just over 14 wide, and again deep enough here to be able to slide up like this and not catch the pillar. That's the plan anyhow. We'll see when we get this in if we need to take a little bit more off this, a little bit more detailing here and there. There's plenty of room to do it. But that's that. So what we're going to do here, again, same deal, pocket screw all this up, then we'll get the centre line and we'll work outwards with the various buttons. Okay, so there's the third one. That's finished now. This detail here, again, these just want radiusing, which I'll do when the electricity comes back off. We've had a power cut. I've had to cut most of this by hand. But we'll radius those, then those three are completed, and the very next thing to start on is the base of the bed. So just to recap on the base before we get started on that, let's have a little look at it if we can. The whole thing from here to here is 800 mil long. It's going to have an inner frame, this lighter section, made from the 3x2s, and then this darker piece will be the sliding section, which is attached to the seat base. And the idea is when this slides out, this will come down, that'll go up, all good. The width of it, I've had a couple of considerations here. One of them is the width of the wheel arch, which we'll have to take into account. So instead of 800, it's now 750. So the whole overall width is 750. And we'll have the various other components marked to cut. I'll probably put a couple of handles in here and to pull that out, and then we'll take a look at the mechanism to put it right again once we've got that done. But here we have the framework, we have the runners, and we have the outer frame which this will be attached to. So that's that. The first thing to do is to build this box section for the inside. As I say, this is out of 3x2s, so let's get on to that. Okay, so I have these main sections for the base of the bed cut. We've got 4 of them at 614. We've got another 4 of them at 674, and we've got the uprights here at 352, and that's just taken straight from the plans there. So I'm going to screw these together and make the box section, and then we'll look at putting these runners on and making the sliding section. Alright, so we have the main base put together, and that's very sturdy, so this is good. Next thing that we have is to put these runners on. That's going to fit along there like so, and one on the other side, and once we've done that we can get an accurate measurement of the outer skin, which is going to be the sliding mechanism for this. Okay, now to fix this, what I've done is I've put some little pieces of scrap just on the top and the front of this, so that when we sit this on, we know it's going very flush with the front and flush with the top. So I can put a screw in here to hold it, then I can take this one off, move the bar across, and put the rest of the screws in. Looking good. So I'm going to flip this over, do the other side, and then we'll get into making the actual slide out section of this. That's both of them on there, and we are ready for the next phase. What I want to do is just get an accurate measurement between these 2 points now. Right, so I haven't measured all of that up. We've got these components to make one of the sliding rails. We're going to make 2 of these, one for either side, and then join it up the front. And then we'll stick the other part of the rail on here. I've just made a little bit of detail on this leg as well, just for the sake of decoration. So I'm going to pocket screw these up, make these 2 components, and then we'll fit the inner rail onto these, and then the front slat. So we have these side rails looking like this, and they are going to attach to the other side of the runner. Now to do that, what I've done here is, I don't know if you can see this, I'll see if I can get it real close up. I've put the scrap wood back on here so that we can position this correctly. And what we want to do is just take a mark where this inner runner is sitting, which is there. Now there's going to be a leg on the front of this, so that will actually be 40mm over. But what we'll do is we'll fit the runner on first, make sure that that's all working, and then we'll finish off this front detail. Okay, so because we're going to put this front part of the leg on here, what I'm going to do is mark where that goes first before I fix it on, which is there. We're going to continue that along there. That's it there, and we'll make some more of it there, and we'll make a bit more of it there. Right, so our top rail, our inner rail, is going on those points, and it's only going up to that line. I think what we'll do is we'll put it in one of these oblong holes for now, just in case we do need a little bit of adjustment later. On the front line, on the top line, and put my screw in. So we'll try this in, see how it goes. Moment of truth, so to speak. Get that in properly, there it is. So that should slide fairly smoothly right the way back there, that's good. And that will come back out, and again slide back in. Right. So I'm going to do the other one the same, and then we're going to finish this front detail off. Okay, so I haven't made those. They all fit. I've put the front of this leg structure on, so it now looks like this. The very last thing to do is just put the cross member in to keep all of these nice and square and secure. And that is these pieces here. Again, that's going to fit in there between those 2, like so. And I'm going to put another one in the bottom just to keep everything squared up properly. This is all looking good. We've got this front framing done here like this. The whole thing fits together, it slides very smoothly. It's a little bit like that right now because it doesn't have anything at the back, and it is the seat of the thing which will strengthen all of that up. So our very next thing is to hinge the seat pieces and the bed pieces together. And I'm using these ball bearing fire door hinges is what they are. Very heavy duty, they don't rattle or shake around at all, and I've just recessed them with a router and they are going to fit in there nice and snug. That's those three on, that's all good. So what we need to do now is flip this over this way. And the baseboard, which I've already connected the hinges to on this side, is going to go onto here. Just make sure it's lined up properly. Yeah, that's good. That's all good. So, same thing, we're going to put these hinges in, and then we do have another set of hinges to put in just on the back, where it joins to the back of the chair. But we need an accurate measurement for them, so we'll sort them out in a moment or two. Exciting times in the workshop. Let me show you what I've done with this. As I've just screwed the main boards together, and I've got them now positioned on the base, and this is how it's looking. Now, temporarily fixed this in just to make sure that it's sliding all right, that it goes absolutely flat, and that it slides back okay. And I've got to say, so far so good. I brought it into a bigger part of the workshop so we can see it in action a little bit better. The adjustments I was talking about is the back. Just want it to go up a little bit, and as that goes up it makes a bit of a more gentle rake on the back seat. That's about right, that's about 12 degrees, so that'll be a comfortable seating position. The rest of it, as I say, we've just screwed it into the sliding frame through these slats, and I've put a couple of screws along the front. What I'll probably do is put a couple of grab handles here, just so that can be pulled out easier, because once it's got the cushions on you won't be able to get hold of the inside of it, obviously. And I'll put a strap from here so that you can pull it to put it back into position. Now, what can I tell you about this? I'm very pleased with it, I can tell you that. So far as the weight of this goes, it's coming in less than 25 kilograms, which is quite something for a rock and roll bed, I believe. But let me show you once more just how this all works. It's very, very simple. As I say, a couple of grab handles under here, and it will be obviously be secured to the floor of a van when it's in there. And that will slide out like that. You must excuse the rattling. The floor in here is unlevel, but obviously in a van it would be level. So that's the full size of the bed. I'm going to get a tape measure and measure it just to tell you exactly how long it is. I think it's a little longer than I thought because of the hinge recesses. So we're saying that this from there to there, that's 187 centimeters. So that's over 6 feet. And obviously from there to there, that's 120. So it's 120 by 187 centimeters. It weighs less than 25 kilograms. It's very smooth and very easy to put back into position. There's no mechanical structures there to break down or anything like that. So next thing is to get this into the van. We're going to get it in, we're going to take a look, and we're going to see how it fits. Okay, so I have it in the van. I managed to get it in. I did get that in by myself. It is light enough to pick up and put in the van. This is very good. Let's see how it fits. Now, along this back line, this is okay. There's a little gap there, but that's all right. We don't want it too tight, so that's fine like that. There's plenty of room round the pillar here. Obviously this will have a cushion on, so it needs a little bit more than the pillar itself. The only thing with it which will indeed do something about is this gap here. This, I would like that a little bit further up to the wall, just a couple of centimetres, and it's this column which prevents that. So we want to mark here, and we just want to take the width that we want to push it over that way off there, and that will fit like a glove. So I've just taken that off with the jigsaw, and that now fits in there much better, really nice and snug. We're going to have a covering, we're going to have a covering on this wall, obviously, but I'm not going to batten that. I'm just going to put the stuff, the ply panel, straight onto there. So there's plenty of room for that there, and that'll be nice and snug against the side of the van. Now on the other side, this is where the units are going to go. We still have enough room, I believe, for just for, again, a rough measurement. We've got about 43 there for the worktop, which is fine. So that's the bed in sleeping mode, and that will slide in there very easily into the closed position for seating mode. And I have these bolts here, which I've just drilled a hole in there. We'll stick that through, get it in the right place, and that's going to stop it from coming forward. It's very simple. So in the seating position, this is how it looks from the back. That is fine there. This has a cowling over this rope, so that'll be okay there. Could go forward a touch maybe, because there will be a cushion on there. But that's how it's sitting. I may take that forwards a touch. Now I'm going to temporarily screw it into the floor. I'm going to drive around with it and just make sure that it's good. It's not rattling or anything like that. Okay, so the finished item, there it is. I've screwed it into position just temporarily. I will take it back out to seal it and maybe give it a coat of lacquer. From the front, looking like this, it's going to pass this pillar quite easily. Again, a couple of screws in here just to attach it to the floor temporarily for now. Now I've put these bolts, holding bolts in the side. They will come out, and when they have come out, then the whole thing will slide down into the bed mode. So that's it there. As I say, plenty of room up this side for the utilities and things like that. We've got clearance here, just but as I say, this is the beauty of a wooden rock and roll bed. If this needs a little bit more off, we can simply get the jigsaw and take a little bit more off. Other advantages, as I say, 25 kilograms. That's definitely an advantage. And paint it any colour you want. Very versatile, I think. Right, so that's it in the in the bed mode. And to put that back up is indeed simplicity itself. That's it there. And then these little bolts will just go through there. And as I say, that will stop it from moving around when the van is moving. So that's it, folks. This is the wooden rock and roll bed. All good. If you've enjoyed the video, do consider subscribing to the channel. Do give the video a like if you liked it. That'll all be good. And just as a point, I may start manufacturing these. If anyone would like one for your van, you know, let me know what sort of van you have. I'll tell you if we can do it. Leave a comment below, you know, if you would like to get in touch about that. But in the near future, I very well may start manufacturing those. So thank you for watching.